Good morning, River Rocks Church. Hope everyone's having a great morning so far. My name's Trent. I'll be in the scripture with you this morning. We're going to be in Mark chapter 14, verses 35 through 36. To recap what we went over previously on Friday, Jesus just entered the garden. He's entering the garden with his disciples. And when he gets to that place, he has all of his disciples sleep, aside from Peter, James, and John, who come with him to pray. When he gets to that moment of prayer, he says to them, "My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death. Stay here and watch." So those three disciples are watching Jesus in this moment of prayer. That is their job. That is their purpose of being present with Christ through this moment. We then see in verse 35 through 36, it says this. It says, "He went a little farther and fell on the ground and prayed that if it were possible, the hour might pass from him. And he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but you will." We see this scripture, and a lot of times it can be one that people struggle with because they ask questions like, how could Jesus, the all-knowing God, struggle with this, knowing the plan, knowing exactly what needed to happen? Why is this a struggle for him? What we need to realize is he understood there was a plan from creation, that Christ was present in that plan, in that time of creating everything that was going to happen, knowing everything that was going to happen, and knew this moment would come. And what we have to realize is in this moment, Christ is still flesh. He is God in the flesh, which meant that he didn't get a pass on the torment that was going to come. He didn't get a pass from the feeling of pain. He didn't get a pass from the feeling of humiliation. All of those are emotions and feelings and physical pain that he was going to feel, no matter what, whether he knew the plan or not. So in Jesus asking this, he's not saying, "God, send him to hell. I don't want to do this anymore." What he's saying is, "God, I know all things are possible through you. Father, all things are possible through you." He says, "Abba, Father," which is a tone of endearment. It's as if a child is saying, "Daddy." It's something that is so sincere, which shows he's close to God in this moment. And being close to God, what he is saying and what he is asking is, "Father, if there's any other way to save humanity, please let that happen." What's the reality? There wasn't. The only way for the salvation of man was through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And that's the torment and the cup that Jesus had to drink from. And he drank it at this garden. He understood in this moment there was no other way. He drank the cup. He drank the wrath, as the Old Testament refers to cups as wrath. He drank the wrath of God for the sin of the world, had all of that taken on to him so that we might have a chance of salvation. What's interesting as well is it says, "Nevertheless, not what I will, but what you will." Many times people can see this as a weak prayer or an out. The reality is that what he's praying is saying, "I'm surrendering myself fully to you, God." Many times it's hard for us to do that because our flesh gets in the way, but for Christ, his flesh never got in the way. So what I pray is that when you go to the Lord, let it be his will and not your own. Look to the example of Christ and understood that he took the wrath of the world, willingly took the cup, and said, "If it's God's will, I will follow through with it." And it surely was. I pray this encourages you. Remember to look for the will of God and follow it tightly. Have a great rest of your day.